Welcome to my channel. This is Bruce the Boss Brooks. Just want to remind you, don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section. I want to know what you think, as well as smash on that like button if you agree. And don't forget to hit that subscription button if you are not yet subscribed, and that little notification bell. Let's get into it. So just yesterday, this occurred in my former hometown of Philly. Let's take a quick look. By the way, this does contain some graphic information. Heads up.
Oh, bro, they just killed them in front of me. Whoa.
So essentially what happened in Philadelphia yesterday is police were called to the scene, and a man by the name of Walter Wallace, if I'm not mistaken, they were called to the scene because Walter Wallace was accosting people with a deadly weapon or a knife. And when they arrived, there he is walking around Cobb's Creek with said knife. And you may have heard it in the audio, you can hear the police say several times, "Put the knife down, put the knife down." He refuses and then charges at the cops, and that's when they fire. I do want to start off by saying my prayers and thoughts go out to his family and friends. I'm really sorry for their loss. It's very tragic when any life is taken, regardless of the circumstance. But with that said, there is a lot of rioting, looting going on, destruction going on, attacking of police officers and assaults in the wake of the shooting of Mr. Wallace. Some of the unrest comes with people saying, oh, another black man shot dead in the streets. Why did they have to shoot him that many times? Which that one could actually maybe justify, good question, maybe more shots than they thought necessary, as opposed to just one. But you have some people saying, well, look, they could have shot him in the leg. They could have tased him. I think that's what I'm hearing a lot. But maybe it's just me, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments, but it just seems like you're damned if you do, damned if you didn't, because he's coming at them with a knife. What were they supposed to do? One thing that a lot of people don't realize is, as an officer, anyone who's trained with a firearm, you are never trained to shoot at the leg. You're trained to shoot center mass to stop an approaching target, because it's a lot easier to hit. A leg is it's not only constantly moving, it's a much smaller target. You're not as likely to hit it. And it really takes an experienced officer and or being really close range to hit them in the leg. Again, very hard to do, can't be expected to be done all the time. The question about the taser, we all know tasers don't always work. Especially, what was his name? Jacob Blake there in Kenosha, Wisconsin. In that scenario, it didn't show it in the first video because you couldn't see what was happening on the other side of the car. But the second video, happening from the street side of the incident that transpired, you can see the cops did, in fact, both cops, or should I say two of the four cops that were there, had used their tasers. And Jacob Blake was still able to get up and walk around the car like nothing happened. So tasers don't always work. And here you have an individual with a knife, clearly has a knife in hand. Do you really want to take that risk of the taser not phasing him at all, and then you get stabbed? The other issue that came up was Mr. Wallace's mental health. Some are saying that he had some mental health issues, and that therefore cops need to be trained better on dealing with individuals with mental health issues. And my question is, and again, I want to pose that out to you guys out there, does it really matter whether or not the individual has mental health issues if they're coming at you with a knife, like literally charging at you? Does it really, what's the difference in how you respond? Because the outcome is still going to be the same if they get you with that knife. At what point do we start taking responsibilities as individuals, as citizens, for what we do in these police interactions? Because one of the things I'm worried about, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems as though the scenario that's being painted by the other side right now is that you can do whatever you want to the officers. It's the officers' job and their duty to show more restraint, that you can be coming at them with deadly intent and with a deadly weapon and not expect deadly response. Maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I'm not seeing it right, and I really want to, get your thoughts on it. Is there ever a scenario, given the situation we seem to be painted in, is there ever a justifiable situation for a cop to use deadly weapon? Because this was clearly a case. You can hear it in the audio. The cops are saying, "Put the weapon down. Put the weapon down." They gave him a chance. Still, he lunged at him, and so they shot. Does that now preclude that there's no situation really where a cop can use deadly force to defend themselves? I just want to know. There seems to be this narrative that black people, innocent black people, are being hunted down, shot down like animals for no reasons. We need to be afraid. But for me, this just seems to be like this particular case with Wallace, another scenario of a criminal assaulting individuals, cops being called on him, and he attacked the cops. They shoot. This was not an individual, innocent civilian minding his business getting shot down by the police, nor was this an individual who was cooperating with police commands during their attempted arrest. This was an assault. And so I don't see but I see the other side trying to paint this narrative that we're victims when all I see for the most part, 99% of the time, are criminals being stopped. There are some cases that need to be reviewed and or investigated, but you don't have a lot of scenarios and or cases where it is an innocent individual. They're usually always criminals resisting arrest, attacking officers. And I don't want to get into a slippery slope situation where we romanticize and or make heroes out of attackers and don't take onus on our own actions and how we're responding. And before anyone says, well, here goes a scenario of a white guy with a weapon and the cops were able to take him out without him being killed. I saw, I think, one post trying to show a white guy with, I think, a gun, and the cops still shot him in the leg. He survived. Why did they shoot to kill for black people? Let's not go down that route, because look at the facts. Truth of the matter is, actually, white people get killed twice. Twice as many white people get shot and killed by the cops every single year. Twice as many. So whatever the number is for black people getting shot by the police, the number for white people, even unarmed, is twice as high every single year without question. So you finding one scenario of a Caucasian person getting shot by police or taken in by police without getting killed is you cherry picking, because we can find probably just as many of black people who are assaulting or in a position to assault police officers and then being taken in peacefully as well, because there are over 300 million police interactions every single year, and only maybe 7 to 900 related police shootings, or should I say police homicide shootings, out of 300 million. So that's a lot of successful and non-lethal police interactions. 300 million police interactions and only 7 to 900 deaths per year. And out of those, Caucasians always have the highest numbers of police shootings and their deaths, always. So that's cherry picking. That's definitely cherry picking information, because again, we can probably find a lot of scenarios where they did every effort to apprehend the black suspect without lethal force. So don't want to really go down that argument. But I want to know your thoughts on the situation. Again, are we creating a class of or situation of people who are expecting to behave any which way that they want without repercussions and demonize the cops for daring to stand up and defend themselves? Or do you feel as though this was an unjustified shooting, that they should have taken every effort to try to apprehend Mr. Wallace without lethal force? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you do agree with some of my line of thinking and or thought, and you're afraid of the direction that this country is heading towards, at least a lot of these Black Lives Matter movements, which I believe have a lot of good-hearted people involved who just are sad, getting upset at seeing so many people shot and killed, but not realizing their own interactions and or the actions that they are justifying or allowing to pass. Again, good people, but if you agree that they're heading down a wrong path, a wrong line of thinking, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Subscribe and get notified of my latest content. I want to thank everyone for viewing this video. This is Bruce the Boss Brooks, and I'm out.